Hey fashionistas and fashionistas, welcome to the second to last Project Runway.
Yeah.
The pre-Brian Park show. That's right. So, last time, Sweet Pea was eliminated. I know.
And Christian and Jillian were a lock for Fashion Week.
But it's a mother effing showdown between Chris March and Rami Chris.
Do you mean a walk-off?
Either way.
It's a mother effing walk-off.
I love that. That will be ingrained in my brain forever.
Yes.
So, they need to make a collection of 12 looks.
And they'll have $8,000 and 5 months to complete it.
And it's all for Fashion Week in Bryant Park. So, Chris and Rami need to come up with their 3 strongest looks from their collections.
And there's going to be a showdown.
There certainly is. But first, let's go to the roof for some champagne.
Yay! Come, Tim.
I know. How about that? Don't play games.
Yes, as Christian would say. That was his comment about how he's in the final 3.
I think he's well deserved to be in the final 3.
For sure.
So, everybody's been away for like 4 months. They packed up and they went home and they got to work. So Tim's going to go on a little visit, as he does every year.
Time for a little Tim check-in.
Damn, I wish Tim would come to our house. He'd probably throw up.
He'd be like, monkey house. But anyway.
We do live in the monkey house.
So, first he checked in on Christian, who lives in New York currently.
Right.
And basically,
he has a tiny apartment.
He is doing all of his work in a closet, where he also sleeps.
Yeah. Poor Christian. He started out as a hairstylist when he was like 13. He started working at the hair salon because they were very accepting of him, and that's cool. And he was doing some good work back then. He was a cute kid, too. He was a real cute kid. And he ended up segueing into design school.
Yeah, for 3 years. 3 years in London.
In MFing London. Damn. He's got some experience, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So his line is really romantic gothic.
I like it.
Totally hot. And you know what? He probably finished it in like 3 weeks. It's been sitting there for months waiting for Tim to show up. He sews fast.
He does.
Well, next up, continuing with the New York theme, is Jillian.
She left her job at Ralph Lauren.
Wow. I don't know how she's paying for that apartment.
She's not doing any, like, work.
How's she paying for that apartment with this spectacular view?
I don't know. It's not like it was some cheap closet.
No.
Christian.
Certainly not. I don't know if it was Borough, though. I'm thinking it wasn't Manhattan.
I don't know.
It looked more like Brooklyn. Alright, so she's keeping up with her whole line of thinking from the last challenge about the museum.
So she decided to research 15th century armor.
Yes, and her pieces are really based on that sort of a look.
So her collection, I guess you could say, is also kind of gothic.
Yeah. I mean, more of those same signature Jillian jackets with the big puffy asses.
Structured jackets.
Yeah. I don't know. They didn't really show too much of her collection.
Tim's critique was there wasn't enough color. It was all very rainy day.
Well, you know what? She's from Long Island. Oh my God. Let's go and see my family so we can see the house I grew up in.
Yeah. Well, her mom was like to Tim, so one day I was talking to this clairvoyant lady.
Yeah.
And she told me I was going to have 3 children and one was going to be famous.
Maybe it's one of the other ones.
Yeah.
Well, they groomed her. I don't know why they thought it was her, but they groomed her to be
the famous
one. Right. So we'll let you know how it all turns out.
Yeah.
So next up, Tim got on a plane, I'm supposed.
No, he drove his Saturn all the way to LA.
Maybe he flew with his little Tim wings. Tim visited Rami. And Rami told a little bit about how he was born in Jerusalem and his mom was like Miss Jordan and...
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
She's really pretty.
She was really pretty. And I guess that's what kind of got him interested in fashion. Yeah. His stepmom and his father were really supportive.
Yeah, his mom passed away when he was 5.
Right.
And that's really terrible.
Yeah. But... he's got a beautiful studio now in LA.
Yeah, it had his name on the front.
It was crazy. It's probably like his little showroom. And his line is like a Joan of Arc type line.
Yeah, so again, kind of military-ish, kind of gothic.
And you know what? He's got a heavy-duty effing coat.
Yeah,
and that's
Tim
the first
said
time I
effing.
ever heard Tim say effing.
Like, he didn't even curse. He said effing. And I was like, Tim!
I'm pretty sure Chris March was in New York.
I don't think so.
Okay, well,
Chris
we'll
March
have
is
to
in
see.
LA. You'll see. You'll be sorry.
I'm sure I will be because I always am. All right, so he does not want to be too costumey.
Yeah.
He is a costume designer.
He's gotten that response before, and he doesn't want it for Fashion Week.
No.
And they showed some of his work, and it was awesome.
Right.
Dressed up in drag in his costumes.
I love his old pictures of, like, when he was Cruella de Vil with all the
puppies inside his jacket. That was so funny.
Well, his goal is 95% fashion.
5% costume.
Thank you. All right, so human hair jacket, Chris March.
Awesome. At first I was like, ugh, human hair, but then I saw it and I was like, whoa, that's hot though. Who cares? You'll get over it.
I love it, but I just wish it was like nylon or something.
The hair?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hair.
It's real. You know, I'm like a accoutrement type of person.
I'm cool
I like
with that.
Yeah.
You didn't hurt anyone to get that. It's not like you're using fur or anything. It's human hair.
How many young women were killed to get that hair? All right, so yeah, and I loved everything else, so that's all you need to know. So Tim told a little story about the monkey house.
Tim, how many times have you been to the monkey house? He's like, you go to the monkey house and you're like, oh my god, this stinks.
I love when Tim tells a story.
You're in there for about half an hour.
Hey,
and you're
this
like,
isn't so
it's
bad.
Not so bad. And then you're in there for an hour and you're like,
what was I thinking?
Smell it. And then somebody else comes in and they're like, oh my god, this stinks. So,
right.
Chris takes Tim to his friend's house. And this guy has lived here for like 30
years.
years. And everything in there is like made by him.
He's got the Sistine Chapel. He's got like all these statues.
Babies eating apples.
Crazy.
I just made that up.
I just want to hang out with Chris March and all his friends.
Oh my god, that house
That's
was
all I
so
want.
amazing.
Then I can die a happy girl.
It was crazy.
Or at least I'll visit him. So everybody...
And not die after.
Yeah. Everybody arrives back in New York.
Yay.
And Chris and Rami are in one room.
Well, one suite.
Yeah.
And then Jillian and Christian. Are you going to be nice to me?
No. Was I ever?
Are you going to be nice to me?
Yeah.
You tell her, Christian.
Don't take her bitchiness. Or
ew,
don't
get bitchy.
Bitch-assness. He's got it.
Yeah.
And she deserves it. Okay, so there's only 3 tables in the workroom when they get back to Parsons.
Bringing home the idea. Only 3 will go on to Fashion Week.
And you know what? It's time to show the looks in 3 hours. That's
3
a
hours
short
to
time.
fit the models
I know.
and do hair and makeup. That's insane.
Choose the partner.
Yeah.
I pick you, Christian.
So yeah, if you were Chris March.
Right, and I am.
Yeah, so Chris March and Christian, and Rami and Jillian were working together.
So Chris March, he chose his 3 looks that were in the same color family, which was black.
And then Rami decided he wanted one ethereal piece, one piece showing his construction.
And one for draping.
Of course, draping. Like we haven't seen it, we
I
know you can do it.
Yeah. So there's no guest judge.
Yep, it's just Heidi, Michael Kors,
and Nina Garcia.
Garcia.
Yes. So they got their looks out there on the runway, and let me tell you, all of them were pretty damn fabulous.
Yes.
Pretty damn fabulous.
There was a couple of things, like a little bit of tweaking that would have made them crazy, but,
well,
you know.
Chris March, of course, was goth-inspired, and basically, there's 3 different things. Human hair, velvet condom, and safety pins. So Rami, he wanted to show off his construction. I guess that's why he picked that jacket with about 10 different things going on it.
I'm sorry, I
was
wasn't
too
a
busy.
fan. I wasn't a fan.
It was a lot of look.
It was.
And his gown, the girl is not a freaking horse. She doesn't need saddlebags on her thighs.
The gown was beautiful.
Except for the
But
saddlebags.
then I looked at the little things he added on the hips, and it was just like so unflattering. She looked huge.
Editing.
When she turned to the side, like, I was scared.
She had 3 asses.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
If he would have just left those off and it just had the rest
that would have
of
been beautiful.
dress had,
That would have been
amazing.
beautiful. Yeah. So both lines were very dark. The judges were kind of disappointed.
They're like, oh, it's so dark.
And overstyled. So
I was digging Chris March's.
I thought it was like, amazing.
Human hair or no hair, I love it.
That skirt that was in the middle look was insane.
Yeah, the human.
So, yeah, you guessed it. Rami's in. Jealous? Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted Chris to be in. And so did America, who voted 58%.
That's right.
Chris should have made it.
Well, kids, next time it's the big old runway show at the Bryant Park Tents.
With Victoria Beckham.
You're out. Okay, so make sure you tune in.
Major.
Yeah, we're probably going to have this like a little bit late because we're doing about 3.2 million shows that week. So, probably Friday night, Saturday morning if we're alive. So, check in with us and we'll talk about the winner. Till then.
Much love.